Hi, everybody. Angel here. Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. And I'm super excited to speak with Donna today of Green Earth Travel. And we will get started very soon. And if you have missed some of previous live conversations on Instagram Live, you can check out my IGTV. And the previous conversations are there for you to enjoy. Hi, Donna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Thanks so
I
much for.
love I love your sparkly hair. I have to learn how to do that.
Yes. So I will be playing with filters
Okay.
because why not? The
Why
world
not?
is so serious. We have been in serious mode for over a year. So when I discovered the filters, I was like, oh gosh, I'm just going to start playing with them.
Yeah.
Awesome. I want to say hi to everybody who's joining. Thanks so much for joining. And please put your questions and comments down below for Donna. And as we go along, she will be happy to answer. And so, Donna, again, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy. And I did pin a summary of our topics, kind of abbreviated on the bottom, just to keep me on track. So,
Okay. Yeah, I
here
have to
we
look at
go.
it. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm looking at it now. Good.
Yes, thank you. So, Donna, I'm just going to jump right in because we have a lot of topics to cover.
Yeah.
And before we start, I want to say that it's been such a pleasure to speak with you on Clubhouse. We are both on Clubhouse. And although I was following you before I joined Clubhouse and heard your voice on Clubhouse, it was just really cool to be in the same Clubhouse room with you and have conversations with you and of course all the others. So I just want to say we're on Clubhouse, people, so follow us over on Clubhouse.
Yeah. What's your clubhouse name?
I am a yummy vegan.
And I'm vegan travel.
Awesome.
So, yes. Got to
That's a
get that
good
out there.
clarification.
Got to get that PR out there.
That's a good clarification. I love it. Short and sweet. There we go. So, Donna, my first question for you is would you please share with us your vegan journey, how you started and how you ended up to where you are today? Thank
It's
you.
a, I'll try and make it as short as possible because it's a long one. I've been vegan since 1983. Um,
Wow.
so I worked at the DC Animal Control and back in like 81, I think, or 82. And Ingrid Newkirk was the one of the directors there. So she was the director of human services in DC, and she would just she would come to the shelter several times a week, if not every day, and she would throw stuff on my desk all the time, like about circuses, and so I'd be like this, the blinder thing, right? Like I don't want to see it,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
uh, but I was taking care of dogs and cats and reptiles or whatever, and wildlife that was coming in. I just didn't want to see anything else. I didn't want to, it was too much. And
Yeah.
I did go to one of the original PETA meetings a couple times back in the 80s when they had it in a tiny room at George Washington University with maybe like 10 people max.
Wow.
But I still didn't go vegan. And then, because I was thinking, I have this Jewish mother syndrome in me. My mother is like, you can't go, what are you going to eat? In her New Jersey accent.
I love it. I
What
love
are
it.
you going to eat? You're not going to be able to, it's just that Jewish thing, Jewish
Yeah.
mother thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I left DC Animal Control or DC Shelter, and I went to the Arlington Animal Welfare League and still worked there for about a year or so. And I went to a rally with a friend of mine who worked at DC Animal Control, and it was Animal Liberation Day back
Wow.
in like 83, April of 83. And I realized that unlike what my mother was saying, where everyone's going to be skinny, you're not going to eat enough, uh, they all looked normal and healthy and suntan and, just a glow about them. And I learned more about animal rights in that moment than I had all along. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And I'm not one to start doing one little thing. Like I have to do it all or not do anything, right? So, and yes, there have been moments where I didn't intentionally mess up, but things have happened and we have to forgive ourselves for that. So it was 1983, and that's when I became vegan. 38 years?
Uh, I'm in awe, and I just want to applaud you. You know, you're like one of the pioneers, you
No,
know.
well, I don't go quite that far back, but yeah, it is. But I was just talking on Clubhouse this morning to a walk and talk group who are not even vegetarian, and we were talking about all the, like all the crappy food you ate as a kid, and then I started talking about the soy milk in back in the 80s was like so disgusting, and the cheese was like the cheese didn't melt and tasted like crayons, and we really, so when people tell me how they're having a hard time getting vegan food in certain places, I'm like, you have no idea, right?
You make such a good point, and hats off to all of the vegan cheese and plant-based cheese makers out there. There was a new announcement that I saw in the press that I shared about Miyoko's new cheddar cheese, for example, that's
Right.
out on the market, and I think you're a big fan of that particular
Well,
company.
yeah, we'll talk about it in a moment. She's actually a client of mine. We actually have a few spots open that just opened up, so we can talk about
Awesome. We're definitely going to dig into that. But it's so interesting because, well, I started as a vegetarian pescatarian. So what happened was, when I was in college, in summary, I stumbled across a book that was labeled vegetarian. But back in those days, I don't want to give away my age, but back in those days, they were using the pure definition of vegetarian, not lacto-ovo,
right.
because the recipes didn't have like eggs and cheese and butter or anything. They would substitute with applesauce and
Right.
bananas, and
Right.
I was making the most amazing like carrot cakes and all kinds of amazing dishes. Anyway, so then I went home for the holidays, and my mother was just not too happy. That my family's like, no, you can't do that, you can't be vegetarian, no, no, no. And then of course, all of the traditional dishes came out, and I just caved. I was 18 and I caved. And then fast forward a few years later, for health reasons, I ended up having to search to figure out, how to deal with a particular
Right.
health challenge. And I went to the bookstore, because back in those days it was bookstores, not the
Bookstore
internet.
that smelled like patchouli. I love it.
Okay,
I love
no,
that.
okay, no, no, no. Mine was Barnes and Noble, but anyway,
Oh, okay.
but anyway, and I found this book. In summary, it said, ditch meat, and I think it said ditch dairy. And I started to eat soy products. And like you're saying, like to get a plant milk, it was just soy milk. And to get a plant yogurt, it was just soy yogurt. So, now with all these options, I'm thinking, gosh, it's like, it's even hard to even like choose a milk if you want to choose a milk off the shelf. I mean, I personally make my own milks, but I'm just saying that it's like night and day, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's totally night and day. It was, but see, I go back even further where it was powdered soy milk.
Oh la la. Oh no, no, no.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what we were talking about this morning. I was telling these non-vegans about how things have changed a lot, and they're all drinking soy milk and almond milk, So, um, but then when I got to the cheese, that's when they started asking questions. This was like an hour ago, and I said, well, they used to taste like crayons or cardboard, the soys, because it was just so disgusting. And now there's all kinds of cheeses. Like you can get cashew cheese, you can get almond cheese, you can get, and everything is just changed. Oh, I forgot about
Macadamia.
our hemp cheese,
Yeah,
everything. And
yeah.
so one of the guys said, what's your favorite? And I said Miyoko's, but cashew cheese, I think, is my favorite. So,
I love almond, macadamia, and I think some people do like a pistachio as well. I love
yeah,
it. I love everything
yeah,
with
I haven't tried
pistachio.
that. I
I
haven't tried
love,
that.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, and sunflower
yeah.
seed cheese is awesome as well.
Yeah. So anyway, we were just kind of talking about that. And then what did he said, "What's your favorite?" And I said, "Cashew cheese." But we were talking about it wasn't even melting. I mean, back then they
Back then.
didn't even melt. It was like this hard, like this thick. You know, uh, so yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah.
those days are over.
I agree. I agree. I just want to say hi and thank you to everybody who's joining. Please put your questions and comments down below for Donna, and she'll be happy to answer. And while we wait, Donna, please tell us, how did you start? When and why and how did you start Green Earth Travel, please?
Well, so about 2 years into my vegan journey, I decided I wanted to get out of working at animal shelters, and because it's a very stressful job, as a lot of people know. And I'm like looking at your dolphins on your face. I can't do this with a straight face.
I know. A lot of people start laughing. I know.
I'm sorry, but anyway, if I could do it, I would. Anyway, so I became a travel agent because that travel was my second love besides animals. And I had by that time, I already had a lot of friends that were vegan. And back then, they would definitely support you, not like they do here. I'm not saying that people don't here, but it's too easy. And I even do this. It's too easy to go on to Amazon, or I'm not going to say the other travel
Yeah.
agency
No,
companies,
yeah, yeah.
but just one of these big major companies, and get it, and you get it the next day, and it's this. So people don't have that sense of loyalty like they used to. Some people do. I shouldn't say it all. But so I became a vegan, I became known as a vegan travel agent, but it was with my friends mostly. And then I found out that there was going to be a March for the Animals back in, I think that was 1990. And I found out who the director was, and I literally like stalked him. It's like, "I'm a travel agent. You need to use me, blah, blah," and yeah. So they used me, and that was kind of like the start of it. I mean, I gained a lot of friends and clients that way. We brought in somewhere around 3,000 people. Back in the 90s, that was good, right? So,
Oh, it's
uh,
amazing.
yeah. So, I had to come up with like 10 different hotels, including a campground.
Yeah.
And we got buses to come in, and of course, I did the airline tickets as well.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's a
that was
lot of
like the
work.
start. Yeah, it was the start of it. And I think in 95, they did it again.
Hmm.
I try to remember if that was the year. And I did that again. It wasn't quite as big. And then I think Farm Animal Reform Movement took it over after that. So they did their own thing.
Hmm.
But I was also, I got so many vegan clients that I wasn't really able to take care of the travel agency's clients. And I decided in 1997 to go out on my own. I'm going to backdate just a little bit, because in 94, two articles came out. One was in the Washington Post and one was in the Vegetarian Times. And that's how I really built up, because it was all word of mouth, right? And it was
Yeah.
all networking. I don't
Yeah.
even remember how this woman found me, or any of them
The
found me.
same way, the same way you probably found the guy you were, following and saying, "Hey, hey, hey, you need to use me."
Right. No, I don't think I was doing that, but
Yeah.
I just remember, I mean, they did a great, I still have the copy of the article.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a good article. People held on to that article for like 5 years or more, like they'd call me like years later. "I saw an article in the Washington or in the, Vegetarian Times." And the funny part is, one of the articles, I think it was the Washington Post, went viral. I guess that's what you called, when they went to other newspapers,
Oh
when I
wow.
was on my honeymoon in South Africa.
Oh,
So I came back and I had like 30 phone calls to make.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the power. It's the power of media.
Yeah.
It's
But that was,
incredible.
that was before internet, really. I
Yes.
mean, it was like the start of internet, but it wasn't on the internet.
No, and it was nothing like
It
what
was
it
all
is
word of mouth
today.
and reading a piece of paper.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
just want to say hi and thank you to everybody who's joining. Please put your questions and comments down below for Donna, and she'll be happy to answer. And while we wait, I think people are a little bit shy today. While we wait, let's go to our next topic, which is please tell us about your trips this year and next year, please.
Well, this is where we'll talk about Miyoko's. That's really the only, I have two trips actually, I should say. So I'll start with the Virgin Voyages trip because that's pretty easy. That's going to be in December. It's just a really small group of friends, but anybody can join us. Um, it's December 1st through the 5th. I know it's a cruise and people are freaking out about cruises, but this will be like one of the first cruises going out. I
Mhm.
really feel like the cruise lines are going to be a lot more careful
Yeah.
than any other industry because they have to. I mean, they're already seeing a few little specks of things going on and they're kiboshing it, before it gets out of hand. So I just think that it's going to be safer all around to go on. Plus, Virgin Voyages has a plant-based forward restaurant, which no other cruise line has ever had before. Um,
Okay, Donna, I need you to say that again, please, for the people in the back. This is big.
So Virgin Voyages has a plant-based forward restaurant. And what I mean by that is that everything on the menu is vegan, but they have a menu if you want to bring somebody, um, if you want to bring somebody with you that's not vegan, they have like a little menu that it's a cheat sheet, is what they call it. Um, so yeah, and Janine just said cruises are working hard to make guests safe and healthy, and she's right. So um, so that'll be December 1st through the 5th. I started to do it as something fun, and then I thought I'm going to bring some friends with me or clients or whatever. So that's the first one, and that's in December. The other one I have is in September and I'm sorry, beginning of October, and it's with Miyoko. So those who love Miyoko, we actually just got a cancellation this morning, and so we have two spots left. It was a sold out trip, but we've got two spots left, and I mean, her trips are fabulous. You get to go with Miyoko and hang out with her. You also get to do the cooking demos. You go to all these places and eat fabulous food. It's going to be amazing.
So tell us, please, what are the destinations involved in the cruise and in Miyoko's trip, please?
Well, Miyoko's trip is going to be in Italy. I'm just going to get the itinerary, and
Wow.
the
Nice.
the cruise is going to be the Bahamas. It's going to be, well, it was supposed to do Key West, Coco Cay, another part of the Bahamas, and then back. I don't know if Key West is going to be out just yet. There's a lot of things up in the air with cruise lines right now.
That's good to know. So in other words,
Going
it's
out
gonna
of
be yeah, it's gonna be a fun adventure, and
Yes,
based on the way the world turns, then that's how
right,
they will tweak it
right,
accordingly.
right. So now I should have had this up beforehand,
No worries.
about Miyoko's because that one is in Italy.
Yeah,
And
nice.
I want to give you the exact itinerary, so just hold on a second here.
No worries, no worries.
Um, well, we do have one next year, but we'll talk about that. We had one that was canceled this year for various reasons.
Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
so it's 10 days. Why is this not working? Never works when you want.
I
Um,
hate that.
why? Okay, so it starts. Oh, she put the Croatia trip, so I don't have the other one, the other trip up yet. We're going to be doing Croatia next year with
Oh,
Miyoko.
oh,
Actually, there's one other
oh.
place I can look at. Hold on one second. Um,
Wow. I love Croatia. Oh, we'll get into that when you skip to that one.
yeah. So, I mean, the other thing is people can just contact me, and I'll give all the details in there. That's probably the better thing to do.
Totally. So let's insert here. What's the best way for people to contact you?
They can go onto my website, which would be greenearthtravel.com or veg, VEG. Yeah, I couldn't even remember. That's the old URL. vegtravel.com.
Okay, cool, cool. Please put your questions and comments down below for Donna. Thanks for joining, everybody. And so, yes, tell us then about next year, please. 2022.
Well, next year, as I mentioned, we have Croatia, which is selling out already. It's the dates on that are going to be June. All right, so we're looking at June 25th through July 2nd. And it's a, I mean, I haven't even had a chance to look at it. Gretchen just put it up. I work with Tierno Tours, you know, so, and Miyoko. And she said to me the other day that the trip is like half full already. So I would not wait on that one. I don't have that one up on my site just yet. So I will, give me about a week or so and I'll get that up on the site.
Wow. Well, yeah, I've been to Italy and it was amazing, especially the food. It was amazing, and the architecture and the people, just incredible. And then I went to Croatia for about 5 days. I was in Dubrovnik, the
Right.
old city, and then along the Adriatic coast in the little villages, and it was just out of this world. I mean, some of the most crystal clear water I've ever seen, and it was just outstanding and unforgettable.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm not going to go on the Italy trip this year, but I told Gretchen that she needs to hold me a spot on Croatia because that's going to be it. So we have oh, I put the wrong one. She's got one to England, Scotland, and Ireland, but we're doing Scotland. Hold on, I'm going to pull this one up
Uh-huh.
so I can tell you about it. Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
This one was supposed to happen this year, and it's not going up. Anyway, we're going next year, next September, and it's England and Scotland. And the England part, this is on my bucket list. We're going to Liverpool. I'm a Beatles
Oh.
freak. I'm a total Beatles freak.
Oh.
So, yeah, and then we go into the Highlands.
I've heard so many good things about the Highlands.
Yeah, well, I've been there, but it's been a long, long time. So I need to go back there again. So I just want to give you the itinerary of that one so you have an idea. And again, well, this one is actually up on my site. And she's also going to be doing Vegan Ireland as well.
Oh, wow.
So this one the dates on this one are August 9th, not July. I thought it was it's August 9th through the 16th of 2021. We don't have the new dates in here. Huh. Okay, I thought she did. Anyway.
But that'll be a good time too, because the weather is hopefully going to be better, you know, in the summer compared to other parts of the world.
Yeah, and it'll be open up. We were gonna oh, Janine wanted to know if there were cauliflowers on your face.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
these are vegan filters, ladies and gentlemen. We have vegan filters here on Instagram. Thank you, Instagram, and all of the creators. Yes, these are cauliflower little flowers. Oh, you have a comment, Donna. Those are interesting itineraries. Yes, Janine, totally agree. Oh, they sound
Janine
amazing.
is a travel agent too, and she's actually working on going vegan. So there you go.
Awesome, Janine. Well, reach out to either of us for any help you need.
Yeah.
We're here for you, Janine. We're here for all of you. So, totally.
So yeah, those are the group trips. I do have one to Best Friends Animal Society that I'm working on. We were going to do it this year, and obviously I just couldn't put my heart and soul into it. So we're going to try and do it for next year. I don't have the dates on that either. A lot of things are up in the air. But I also customize trips. We also oh my God, you're cracking me up.
I know. People
I'm
love
looking
these.
down and I look up and I see these cute little ears in them.
I know. People love these filters. I love these filters.
Yeah, they're fun.
But,
I wish I knew how to do it on here. I think
yeah.
I
There's a
won't.
little
I won't.
smiley. There's a little smiley face
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
screen,
let
and
me
you
see if
tap.
I can find it.
Yeah, there's a little smiley face. You tap on it, and then you
There I
can
go.
choose. Uh-huh. Oh, you
Uh,
have butterflies!
Yeah.
Oh, it's just beautiful. I love
Oh,
them.
let's see.
Oh my
No, now
gosh.
you're gonna get me started. I'll leave the butterflies in my hair.
They're awesome.
So, if people want to go and do their own thing, that's something that is really my specialty. Like I do, like can't do a straight face with you.
I know. They're hilarious. Yeah, but please tell us, how do
So,
people co-create trips with you?
well, yeah, so I ask people for a budget. I ask them where they want to go, how long they want to stay, and we just kind of narrow it down from there, you know. So, I mean, the most important thing is your dates of travel, any ideas of where you want to go, or, I can help you with that, but you have to really know what you want to do. But more importantly, I need to know what your budget is, because if you're going to tell me I have $1,000, I'm going to tell you you can drive somewhere for a week. Airfare is going to be astronomical in the next year, and so we have to look at something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah. And your trips are, well, let me put it this way. Are your trips mainly outside the US, or do you also offer a travel, organization within the US?
Well, I do the U.S., but my main focus up until last year I was going to say is COVID. That's not what I want to say. Is Ireland, So I am an Ireland specialist.
Good to know. I've only been to Dublin, and it was awesome. It
Oh,
was
you
just
need to go
super.
back. You need to go back.
I've
No,
heard there's so many other beautiful parts, and I didn't get to see the other ones.
it's
But
amazing.
yeah,
It's actually an amazing place.
totally. And the places you mentioned are also very vegan friendly,
Yeah.
which brings us to our next topic, which is share with us, please, some of the most vegan friendly destinations that you have encountered in your travels.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been to some of these places, but so that kind of tells me that they've even gone in the better direction. But Belize was probably one of the most vegan friendly places I've been to. Costa Rica is another one. Obviously India is, but India is more vegetarian friendly. There are a lot of vegan options, but people don't realize there's a lot of ghee on everything. So, just have to watch out for that. But Belize has a very large Asian and Indian population. So lots of tofu curries, it's just really, the food was really good there. Ireland wasn't a vegan friendly place when I started going 20 years ago. And, I've seen this progression because I go like every few years, and it's amazing what's happened to it.
I
It really
agree
is.
with you. I
Yeah.
agree with you. Now, again, I was only in Dublin, and of course, that's the capital. And of course, there are more, investments and opportunities there, bigger population. However, what really impressed me with Dublin is that even if it's a traditional restaurant, it still has vegan options on the
Right.
menu.
Right.
So I was there almost 2 years ago, and although it was not common to find 100% vegan restaurants, it was very common to find one or two or three vegan options clearly labeled on any kind
Everything.
of,
Yeah.
pub that I would walk into, any kind of cafe or restaurant. It was very, very, heartwarming, to be honest. Like, I would just relax a little bit and say, okay, well, all right, it's vegan, so I don't have to worry, that there's like something lurking in there. So,
Right.
and I really applaud, the Irish there for doing that. And last point I will make, since I was there about almost 2 years ago, the number of vegan businesses has increased, even because I follow certain
Right.
certain hashtags, and certain
Right.
people in Ireland on Instagram, and I can see the increase in the vegan presence, thankfully. So they're really, making leaps and bounds. And I've heard Scotland is amazing, England is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
England has always been the vegan mecca. It just didn't always have the best food,
Ah,
because it's just kind of, but it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. But yeah, back in the day when you traveled and you were vegan, you wanted to go to the UK or England in particular because that's where all the vegetarians were. It's kind of like San Francisco. Um, and, but, there's so many other options out there now. So the England, obviously England is one of them. And Kenya was another place. I went there in 2001. So again, this is a while ago, but they had a lot of vegan options. In fact, I was on a travel agent trip, and so I would tell the tour operator that I was vegan, and they said, no problem, we'll get it taken care of. And they would have a vegan table or vegetarian table at every hotel that we had. So I would go over there thinking, oh, that's my option here. And then they would come over with a plate, the waiters. So I would eat dinner twice or lunch twice because of that each time. I had to, like, after a while, back it off. I ended up gaining weight on that trip. Um,
well, I want to say that that was good weight.
it was. It was.
That's so interesting. Gosh, I would never think about Kenya as
Well,
a
and
vegan friendly.
the last day that we were there, they took us to this restaurant that all the tourists are taken to. It's called the Carnivore, right? I thought, oh my God, this is going to be horrific. And there was a vegetarian menu. I think it was vegetarian, might have even been vegan. But yeah, I mean, in 2001, that was crazy. And all these people, we had witnessed a lion killing a zebra, right, during that day. I know it
Which
was
is
hard.
nature. That's
It's
nature.
nature. So I was probably the only one who wasn't crying.
I would
I
not be
was,
upset about that.
I was fascinated by it. And all these people are crying because of this. And then when we went to that carnivore restaurant, they somehow, some of them made the connection and ordered vegetarian meals.
Oh,
I thought was really interesting. Yeah.
that is powerful.
Yeah. They made a connection.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love
So,
that.
yeah.
I want to say hi to everybody who's joining. Thanks for joining. Please put your questions and comments down below for Donna. Please don't be shy. Don't be shy. And she'll be happy to answer. And while we wait, okay, are there any other vegan friendly destinations you wanted to mention by chance?
Well, Croatia, I mean, everywhere has become
Yeah,
vegan friendly, I think.
yeah.
I had one in my head now, I can't remember, but Croatia is one of them. And I think
Mhm.
that's why vegans are flocking there.
Yeah.
Um,
And
uh,
there's a pure vegan restaurant. I'll probably mispronounce it. It's something it starts with NI in Dubrovnik, and I went there a few times, and it was awesome because again, you can just relax. You know everything is vegan, so you
right,
don't have to worry. Now there were other places I went, and I ended up eating grilled vegetables
right.
and some kind of potato French fry thing, which I hope it was in, vegetable oil. I can't be 1,000% sure. But, so yeah, there were some hit and misses. So yeah, I would have just ordered. They have beautiful vegetables there as well. So that was nice. So even if I just ended up eating vegetables, it was still great. But they are really trying.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, so I mean, anywhere you go, it's going to be vegan friendly, these days. Even in the US, it's really come a long way. I mean, California is like the one of the vegan meccas. So is New York City. I know people that go to New York City just to eat at their restaurants. And because there's so many of them, you have to go back and try them out. Even in DC now, I live in the DC area. There are so many vegan friendly restaurants here now, or vegan restaurants, that it's really, really changed. Um, and it used to be like there was like one or two, and we probably got like 20 or more restaurants here. We've got the, what is it? The radish. I can't remember. They own the veg in Philly. So they
Mm.
have the fancy radish. Yeah. Which is great. You've got Farewell, which is owned by the woman who owns the Sticky Fingers. You know, Sticky Fingers is here too. And that's just one of like many restaurants. The Vegetable Garden is probably the oldest one, and that's out in Maryland. And I've been going there for probably 30 years now. So
Yeah, you
lots
know,
of
when I was in sorry, in Washington D.C. a few years ago, I wasn't vegan yet, and it was so awesome though because it for me it was a foodie town, and I loved that.
stuff.
You know,
Yeah,
it was just right up my alley. Like you could enjoy, you know, meals from all over the world. So that was
yeah,
really cool, you know. And then obviously New York City is in a class of its
of its
own.
own, right?
Yeah. And the other day I heard someone, he and his wife or partner, I don't really know, and they went to like New York for like a day, and they were making fun of themselves because they were like, you know, this is what vegans do when they go someplace and they're going to go to like 4 or 5 different restaurants all in one day, you know, to kind of just take it all in. You know,
Right.
it was just so cool.
There was a woman who was doing vegan tasting tours, and I'm hoping that she comes back to do that. My favorite place in New York is Beyond Sushi. I don't know
Oh
if you've eaten
yeah.
there.
I have not. I have
Oh
to
my
put it
goodness.
on my list. Oh, we have yes, DC. Hip
Yeah,
City Veg. Thank you,
Hip City
Janine.
Veg is probably one of my favorites down here as well. They have the best vegan burger I've ever had anywhere. Um,
Really?
so, but California, I have a story about California. I was going to San Francisco. Actually, my husband and I were in San Francisco for a vacation, and there was the restaurant called the Millennium. Do you remember that?
I no, I've been to San Francisco, but I didn't visit that one.
Oh,
I did hit some other ones though.
okay. Millennium is like an old classic. And
Mm.
they were in, at that time, they were in downtown San Francisco. I haven't been to them since they moved to Oakland, but they
Mm.
had the best chocolate mousse cake there, like
Can
just to die
imagine.
for. And I'm a dessert freak. So,
Yeah, I have a sweet tooth too.
yeah, it was amazing. It was so amazing that the next time I went to San Francisco, which was like a year or two later, I was there for work and I stayed. The restaurant was inside a hotel. It was inside a Best Western. So, and we were staying at that hotel on the first trip, and I decided to stay there the second time so I could get that chocolate dessert.
I love
So
that.
that
That
was
you
the
chose a
only,
hotel based on a dessert. I love that.
yes. So,
It's awesome.
I haven't been to them since they moved to Oakland. I think last time I was there was in 2012.
Yeah, yeah.
San
No, but
Francisco.
you're right. I think that, you know, one of the great messages that you just shared is that practically everywhere is becoming more vegan
Right,
friendly.
right,
And another thing too, like you said, you know, the chefs are so open to us now in terms of us saying, no, 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 we don't eat anything from, you know, any ingredients that come from animals. And
right.
it's so awesome because the chefs are, you know, some people say chefs love a challenge. They love to, you know,
I've come
create something.
across that. Yeah.
Yeah, and one time I was in Galicia in Spain 2 years ago, and I they brought me some kind of local little appetizer. You know, they bring you a little tapas thing
Right, right,
for
right, right,
free, quote unquote. And so
right.
I said, "Oh no, I don't eat that. I'm vegan." And the guy said, "Oh, okay." And I kid you not, like a few minutes later, he comes back with this beautiful multicolored pepper kebab on a little stick. And it was just like, you know, I guess the chef whipped it up and said, oh, well, she doesn't eat animals, so I better create something that she'll eat, you know. And they brought me this beautiful multi vegetable kebab. So it was awesome.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love stories like that. We had that happen in West Virginia, gosh, at least 20 years ago. I took my husband, I used to take him to a B&B for his birthday every year because it's in January and it's always gloomy then. And so we went somewhere in West Virginia, and I had the guy, this is like, as I said, over 20 years ago, I had the chef make a vegan cake. And, you know, it
Amazing.
was good. It was good. I don't remember if it was great, but it was good. And then afterwards, we wanted to introduce ourselves to the chef and thank him. And he's like, I get bored with doing the regular stuff.
Oh,
So
really?
this is a challenge for me. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's a good story. Like, that's important for us to know.
Yeah.
Because to be honest,
Well,
at the
I mean,
beginning, I thought I was bothering them.
I think it goes both ways. I think it's going to depend on the chef, you know, and if they're open-minded. Some of them don't want to go off topic, right? So, or off whatever, off menu. And then some of them are like, oh God, this is great. You know, some of them are more creative. And
Very, very. No, I agree with you. That's awesome.
we also
Um,
had that happen in South Africa. We had actually, that was our honeymoon, was in South Africa. And to make a long story a little longer, the hotel that we were staying at, which was the Mount Nelson in Cape Town, it had burned down like months
oh,
before we were going there. And I did, you know, there was no internet back then. So I don't know how they, you know, they weren't going to contact me. So I didn't know until like maybe a day or two beforehand, and they had to put us in another hotel for a couple of days. But then they had us back at the Mount Nelson, and so when we had dinner there, we had butlers to ourselves. All the staff was to ourselves. We were the only ones in the hotel because they had
oh.
just opened up like 2 days beforehand. And the chef was just so accommodating. He's like, he did the same thing. He said, I love challenges, and this was great. This was great for me to practice. So you never know, you know, you just have to
And a
ask.
lot of chefs, yeah, and shout out to the chefs because a lot of chefs are really like turning a page and
Right.
coming up with, vegan menus for their restaurants and vegan options. And as we've seen, like some even Michelin star restaurants are now converted to plant-based or vegan. So it's awesome. It's really just it's all going in the right direction.
Right. Look at the chef in New York
Yeah,
or the restaurant in New York. Now, I
yeah,
don't know if I
11,
could
yeah.
ever afford that, but at 300 a plate. But, you know, for those who
Get on the
can,
wait list. Get on the
yeah,
wait list. By the time you get on it's your turn on the wait list. You'll be good to go.
maybe the prices will come down. I don't know.
I don't know
I don't
about
know.
that.
I mean, I think it's great, and I love the idea. I just can't afford it right now. If I could, I would.
But
Um,
there's something for everyone. There's
right,
something for everyone. I don't think that, I mean, I personally don't feel deprived of not going there. And so
right.
I'm just happy that, people who are able and willing to spend that kind of money are being exposed to
Yeah,
plant foods. And, it might just flip a switch, like, gosh, if these, highfalutin places are going plant based, well, golly gee, why shouldn't I?
right. And
You know,
it's not only just the food that, as a lifestyle vegan, has to deal with, you know. Some of them are doing it for health reasons, and it doesn't matter what else is, you know, in the hotel or the resort or the cruise. But um, or you know, even the sightseeing that you do, you know, that you have to be really careful. Like, I would never recommend. I'm probably going to Mexico next year, and I'm staying at a place called Ex Correa, and I don't know, I don't think they have. I have to look in it. They do a lot of good stuff, but the one thing I'm not sure about are the dolphin swims. So you
oh,
know, you could actually, well, if you're going to do any kind of dolphin swim, you should do a wild one where the animals come to you. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I really
I agree with
tell
that.
people, yeah, I tell people not to support anything that is confined. You
I
know,
agree. Yeah, I was in Costa Rica and I was fortunate enough to go on
a
like
wild
a,
one,
yeah, it's like a dolphin whale watch. And,
right?
we didn't do anything. We didn't bother the dolphins. We were just on a boat, just kind of
Right.
sitting there. And they would just come and jump up and down and, follow each other and do their little things. And there was this amazing turtle who came by. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like National Geographic out there in Costa Rica land. But yeah,
yeah.
it's, you know, you have to be careful of things like that. Like, don't go to the tiger petting places. You know, there's there's just so much more that you could do. Do not go to the zoos. The only zoo that I even half-heartedly recommend is the zoo in Belize, and it's because it's more, they call it the Belize Zoo, but it's actually more like a sanctuary. The majority of those animals cannot go back into the wild. So yeah, so you just have to be careful. Things like in the hotel, you want to make sure that you don't have feather pillows, and a lot of hotels will do, swap out that stuff for you if they have it. And wool blankets, although wool blankets in the Caribbean are not really a thing, but but when you go to Europe in the cold times, they can, so you want to make sure that you swap out things like that. I mean, I even forgot, somebody was bringing up, well, what about leather chairs? That's going to be a little bit more difficult because that's their permanent furniture in the room. So
Yeah.
I don't know, unless you're going to an all vegan hotel, I
Yeah.
think that's going to be a little more difficult to do. And I always recommend to people who are booking on their own, which they should be booking with a travel agent, is make sure that the hotel can at least accommodate you for breakfast, and have soy milk at the very least. So you could have soy milk with cereal or soy milk in your coffee. But, so make sure that they understand that, because a lot of times you'll get there and they don't have anything for you.
Yeah, no, that's key for sure.
Yeah.
So tell us please about your tell us please about your future projects and services, if there are any that you're willing to share at this time, please.
Well, so as I mentioned, I'm working on trying to put the Best Friends Animal Society trip together, and
And
what
where's that located?
that's in Kanab, Utah, and it's
Ah,
on 3,000 acres of land. And yeah, in fact, I've got to email the tour operator today to see where she is on that. Um,
amazing.
yeah, so they actually have a vegan hotel there. They just opened it up in 2019. Timing couldn't have been worse,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
so at least they got in on the start. They had nothing to lose. They're just back a year. Um, so we'll be staying there, and then we're going to head off to Zion National Park for a couple days. So
That should be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That would be awesome. Oh, yeah, that whole region is so popular when it comes to natural landscapes. It's
right.
just so beautiful. I've only
Oh, it's
seen
gorgeous.
photos.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten over to that part yet. But I want to say thanks to everybody who's joining. Please put your questions and comments down below for Donna. We're going to wrap this up in a moment. So Donna, please tell everybody again, where are the best ways for them to contact you for information, collaboration, bookings, questions?
So you can message me on Instagram. You can also go to my Facebook page, Green Earth Travel. I haven't been posting there as much, but I will be starting to hopefully soon. And also, there are three people, uh, two other travel agents and a tour operator and myself, that have a vegan travel club. Um, so on Clubhouse. So we do it on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., where it's kind of like a simple chat, talking about the places you've been to and your suggestions. We want to hear from everyone. And then on Fridays, we usually have something more concrete. We're going to be talking today at 3 o'clock Eastern time about romance, the most romantic places to stay at, which we'll have a lot to talk about. So Clubhouse, and then my website, which is greenearthtravel.com. My email address is info@greenearthtravel.com. If you want to call me, you can call me at 301-229-5666 or toll free 888-246-8343.
Awesome. And all of the times that, sorry.
No, I was just saying that was a lot.
No. It's awesome. It's awesome. And so all of the times that Donna has given are in U.S. Eastern Standard Time. In other words, New York time. And so if that makes it easier for everyone to, I love your sparkles. If that makes it easier for everyone to, catch up with Donna on her Clubhouse chats and conversations, they're super awesome. I was able to join into one about 10 days ago. I was only able to stay for about 45 minutes or so because I had to run, but it's awesome. And Donna, oh my gosh, you have a now I'm reacting the way you were. This is so adorable.
Matches,
so,
the ears match my hair now. Right?
This is so adorable. The cute little nose. Oh, I have to put my little pig back then.
There you go.
So Donna, also please tell people about your Facebook group because I think it's super helpful. Thank you.
Yes. So sorry, I should have.
No worries.
So it's called Traveling in a New Vegan World. It's a vegan group of travel professionals that are answering and posting things for people that are interested in vegan travel. Some of the people in the group are vegan, some are not, some are vegan friendly, some have vegan family members, and they just want to learn about vegan travel. So, we're each week, one of the tour operators or travel agents posts things online on the page. And then if people have any questions, we respond. We also do workshops. We did a workshop. I can't remember our last workshop. I think it was on vegan hospitality. That's what it was. A woman who owns vegan hospitality.
Yeah.
So she's actually trying to veganize all the hotels. I'm hoping to do a workshop with a woman who lives in Singapore, and she loves vegan foods around the world. So she's a nutritionist / chef, and we'll probably be doing either vegan foods of Singapore or vegan foods of Iran. So depending on what we decide on.
That is awesome.
We'll do some cooking demos.
That is awesome. And Donna, I want to clarify because you made a comment that a person is vegan or not vegan, or their family members are vegan. So for your trips, is it necessary for the person to be vegan if they want to book and travel with you?
No, and in fact, it's usually like a spouse that's vegan and then the other one that's not, and they'll go with us. And they like it. I have had very few critiques about it. It's mostly been all good.
Awesome. Because I just wanted to clarify that because, some people may think, oh gosh, everybody has to be vegan, and that's not.
In fact, I encourage non-vegans to come, because they're going to realize they're not going to miss anything that they think they're going to miss.
I love it. They're gonna thrive for a week, and they're gonna be like, hey, why do I need to go? Go back to how I was eating. I feel better. I have more energy. I feel amazing. So we have a VD who has to leave. Thank you so much. Thank you, VD. Yes, thank you for joining. And so, Donna, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come and share with us today. And I want to ask you if you have any final words, final thoughts you wanted to share with us just to kind of wrap this all up and put a bow on it for us, please.
Well, travel is coming back. That's really the thing. Travel is coming back. It is. We're going to have to be patient. It might not be the same as what we did before, but it is coming back, and we have to be patient and courteous to those we visit with.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, because, first of all, you're being optimistic, compassionate, and realistic, like you're saying, it's kind of like, you're just kind of going with the flow and tweaking it as things change around the world. So definitely good advice there. So Donna, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time. I'm going to save this. Thank you. I'm going to save this to
my ears move.
I know, right? They need to fix that, right? So we can wiggle our ears and our noses, I agree. And so that'll probably, they need to do an upgrade, like another version of this. And so I'm going to post this to IGTV, my feed and stories, and then I will
Okay.
message you after.
Great. Thank you so much, Angel, for this. This was fun. Got to do it
That,
again.
yes, thank you so much, Donna, and have a great day. And thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.